Megan. I was gonna do, oh hey, didn't see you there. I don't know why, like, I wanted to do that really bad, so now I did it. So hello. I'm going to continue on doing some of these rediscovering what I own videos before I have to go to dinner, and I'm going to do my face brushes next, or like, and also I'm gonna do like my face tools or whatever. Like, I'll show you what I mean. But I keep all my brushes here at my vanity, and I have them all in like empty like containers. So my face brushes, which are all in here, are in a 3-wick Bath & Body Works candle jar that I like cleaned out and stuff. My eye brushes are in an empty woodwick candle holder, which I think is super pretty. And then I have miscellaneous stuff in this Nutella jar, which one of you guys actually commented and said that you love my Nutella jar because you noticed it in the back of some of these videos. And this I actually got when I was in Spain in my senior year of high school. And I still have like the price sticker on it and everything. And I just absolutely love this. So I keep like miscellaneous things like pens, and I have some specific brushes in here and some mascaras and stuff like that. So I also keep my tweezers on the side of here. But this episode, I call these episodes, I don't know what you would call it, but this part of the series is going to be my face brushes. So I'm just gonna like pull them over here, and I guess we'll just go over them like one by one. And I also have my 2 like beauty sponges. This is what I was trying to explain when I said my face tools, but I have my beauty blender, which I love, and this is really old, so I guess I should get rid of it. People, like, I've seen people get rid of them like every 3 months, so apparently you're supposed to do that. Mine's a little dirty and all, but then I also just got the Real Techniques Miracle Complexion sponge, and I did what I would say is a pretty, like, short yet in-depth review on them in my weekly repeats and reviews that went up yesterday. I really love both. I think that they apply the makeup exactly perfectly the same, but the only obvious difference is the shapes are different, and I love this flat side of the Real Techniques. I think that it's awesome for like pouncing on the foundation onto your like cheeks and stuff. It just gets those areas really nicely. But I like the Beauty Blender more because the shape is more tapered and you can get more around your eyes and stuff, while the Real Techniques is more of like a lemon shape and it doesn't like taper as much. It like sort of does, and then it goes straight to a point. This one, since it's more like an egg, it just is more fluid, and I like the shape of the Beauty Blender more, but in terms of application and coverage and everything, they do everything exactly the same. So that's another shorter review on that, and these just keep wanting to roll away, so I'm gonna just throw them back in their spot. Okay, also in here I have my beauty spatula. This is it's a Sephora brand one. It's called the Bottoms Up Beauty Spatula. Still don't know if they stopped making these or what, but this was one that Natasha sent me, and I love it. It's just like a long-handled little spatula that's made of like a silicone, like, not fabric, but material. And it's just awesome at like scooping out every last drop in your foundations and like lotions and stuff. Any beauty products that you want to get the last drops out of, this is awesome if they're like a liquid like consistency. So I keep that also in this section. So I'm just gonna grab and go and talk about all of my brushes. So I have a bunch of Real Techniques brushes. This one, okay, here's the problem. These were the ones that were from Nick's Pick set, and I just got these this Christmas. But look, almost all of the writing has rubbed off already. I don't know if you can see. But like, look at that. Almost all the writing is rubbed off. But I can still see that it says cheek brush on the other side, but that's weird. None of my other Real Techniques brushes have done that. Maybe it's because this is like a shiny ferrule while the other ones were matte. But this is the Real Techniques cheek brush. And then I also have the Multitasker brush, which they obviously look very similar. You can get the Multitask brush at any time. The cheek brush was exclusive to the NYX Pick set. But you can see that they're kind of different, but to me they, like, I use them for basically the same things. I use both of these either for powder, for blush, sometimes for like a diffusion of highlight, or sometimes I've even used the cheek brush to like buff on foundation if I want it like more of a light coverage. It does kind of leave streaks, but I just use these for a multitude of things. The Multitask brush is perfectly named because you can really use it for basically anything, because it's kind of like flat yet fluffy, and the cheek brush is just a little bit like more tapered and not as fluffy. So I really like both of them. They work super well, but I use them for like everything. I don't have a like one specific purpose for them. I have two of the e.l.f. small stipple brushes, and these I use a lot for like cream highlight or like highlight in general. For, I don't know, I just will reach for these sometimes for like any cheek product application if I just want like a small amount, or I want to just like do a little bit of like buffing concealer in or something. I just reach for these randomly. They're not like my absolute favorite brush, but they do definitely serve a purpose, and they're kind of dirty like all my brushes are. So I definitely reach for them at some point when I just need like a highlight brush or just need a brush to like blend something out. So I really do like these, and clearly I do since I have two. And this one has tape around the ferrule because a lot of my e.l.f. brushes have like the ferrule has gotten loose, but I just tape it up, and even though it looks kind of ghetto, like I don't really care. It still does the job. Okay, my Chanel blush brush. The number 4, I believe, blush brush. Okay, so this brush isn't the softest. It has shed a little bit, but the shape is perfect. It has kept its shape. It, like, if you want a brush of this shape, tapered yet fluffy, but like dense, so as you can see, it doesn't lose its shape as you're pressing down on it. Like, I'm pressing kind of hard and it just keeps its shape. If you want a brush like this, I got it specifically for like kind of contouring, but like using a deeper blush with it. If you want a brush of this shape, this is a nice brush. Am I disappointed that I spent $50 on this brush? Kind of, yeah, because it is kind of scratchy. Not like scratchy, but it's not as soft. It's not as soft as like any of my other brushes, and I basically only have like drugstore brushes, but it is a nice brush. It came in a fancy case, and I do like it, but I wouldn't say you like need this brush. Definitely not. But if you do want a brush of this shape, which this is the exact shape I was looking for, I really love it for like the exact reason I bought it, which is like just basically like putting, okay, here's my cheek, and just like going like this with a blush, and I don't know, that's what I use my NARS Ondine and stuff for, just like, I don't know how to explain it, like kind of contouring, I guess. But it's nice and it's okay, but it's not my favorite blush brush ever, and I don't think that it's worth $50, but the shape is perfect, and I couldn't find any other brush of this shape when I was looking for it. So I bought this one and I really do like it, but it's hella expensive. This is one of my favorite, most used brushes. This is the Real Technique setting brush, and it's just a small, fluffy tapered brush, and I use this always for my under eye concealer. I'll like put it on my skin and then I'll blend it out with this, and it is perfect because it's synthetic, and it just like buffs the concealer perfectly, and it diffuses it but still leaves the coverage, and I just love this for buffing concealer, and that's what I always reach for it for. This is one of my newer brushes, the Real Techniques number 100 Arch Powder Brush in their like luxury line. Bold Metals, I think that was what it's called, and it has a cool handle that I really like, and it is weighted. It's very nice, and the bristles are very soft. So it's like a thin, kind of like paddle shape. I guess like it's flat and thin and tapered. It's really nicely tapered. And I love this for setting powder, or most recently I've been using it as bronzer. In a similar way that I use the Chanel, I just get the product right on the tips of these bristles, and then on my skin I like go in a back and forth motion to like put down the product, and then since both of them are tapered, I like blend with it as well. So I really, really love this brush. I think that it's a great quality brush, and if you want to support Sam and Nick with their higher end line, I think that this is a great option for you to get, because it's very multi-use. Like you can use this for, I've used it for highlight sometimes if I want like a big like sweep of highlight across my cheeks. I've used this for powder, like setting powder, foundation powder. It's just really nice, so I do like it. I have two of the e.l.f. small tapered brush. A lot of the e.l.f. face brushes I have multiples of, or like duos of, just because they're so cheap, and once I decide that I like it, I basically always buy two for some reason. So this I really love for highlight, for contour, for sometimes if I don't reach for the Real Techniques, I will reach for one of these to buff out my concealer under my eyes. They just do like everything, and similar to the small stipple, I just reach for it if I need to buff something out or blend something. I reach for these for a lot of different purposes. They're not my favorites anymore like they used to be, but I definitely love them and wouldn't get rid of them, because I will find a purpose for them at some point in my week. This is the Real Techniques Duo-Fibre contour brush, and this one I really like. So it's that Duo-Fibre, and it's nice and like sporadic bristles, I guess you would say. And this I really like for cream blush or highlight or contour. So any like cream cheek product, this is awesome because it's small. Here it is compared to the small tapered brush and then the setting brush, just so you can see a size comparison. So I think that this is awesome. This is one of my newer brushes as well, and I really, really like it, especially for cream products. So I've used it mostly with like cream blushes, and I really love it for that. Next, I have my TokiDoki angled blush brush. I don't think that they carry TokiDoki anymore at Sephora. It used to have like a cute character on the end, but I took it off because I couldn't like set it down in the container as well, so I just ripped it off, and now I reach for it all the time. This is an awesome blush brush. It's fluffy and it has that angle to it. I really like this, and I also like just getting it in my blush and then like stamping it on my skin instead of like really buffing it. I just really, really love this brush. I'm sure that a bunch of companies have a brush that looks really, really similar to this, but since I have this TokiDoki one, I am obsessed with it. I love it, and it's super soft as well, so I really enjoy that one. This is one of my only Sigma brushes. This is the Tapered Face F25, and this I bought specifically to use with my Guerlain Meteorite powder because it's a black brush and it's like, I thought it would be bigger and like fluffier than it is, but it is like pretty thin and tapered, which I do like. I like this a lot for not only setting powder. I don't reach for it as much for setting powder. I'm sure I will like in the future, but I go in phases with brushes and what I use them for. Right now I most like this for contour because it has that nice point, but also for my Becca highlighter because I can get it right on that tip and like really buff it on my cheeks and stuff. So I do like this brush. I think that it's okay, but I don't love it for the purpose that I bought it. The Real Techniques buffing brush I really, really like as an alternative to the Sigma F80 or like any of those just buffing foundation brushes. I never thought I would like that type of brush, so I'm glad that I didn't invest in like a more expensive one, but this Real Techniques one does the job. It is so awesome. It just like really blends it in. I used to have the Expert Face brush, which is similar to this but is flatter, so it's more like that shape. But this I like so much better because it's that like circular, and you can really buff it on your skin and you literally get like no streak marks. So I love this. I don't use it a lot, but when I want a heavier coverage for my foundation, I will reach for this brush. Or I reach for the Sonia Kashuk number 4 buffing brush. I'm not sure exactly what this is called, but it's just a small, flat top, super dense brush for your foundation. And so this is smaller than the Real Techniques buffing brush in like the surface area. But I really, really like this. I have wanted this for a very long time. My sister bought it for me for my birthday this past year, and I really love it. I love the handle. It like, you can hold it. It's so ergonomic the way that they designed this handle. So I really love this. When I want that fuller coverage foundation effect, I will reach for either of these, and I love absolutely both of them. Then I have 2 of the Real Techniques Duo-Fibre face brushes. This silver ferrule came from the NYX Picks, and this one comes in the Duo-Fibre collection. So they're the same brush, they're named the same, they look a little bit different, but I really, really like this for like a light dusting of powder. I also like this a lot for a light bronzer, like if you have a really pigmented bronzer or like blush or something. Oh my god, I should use these with my red blush. I need to try these. These just apply the perfect amount of those really, really highly pigmented products. And so I'm really glad that I have 2 of them because I absolutely fell in love with this brush. And it's just the right shape and size, and yeah, they do look pretty different now that I'm comparing them side by side. But I love both. They do a great job, and if you want to try it out, the Duo-Fibre set, I don't like the eye brush that came in it, but the contour brush and the powder brush are really awesome and definitely worth it to me. So I love that Duo-Fibre face brush. Another standout Real Techniques brush is the blush brush. So this is like an egg-shaped brush. Oh my god, you guys, this is so amazing. I love this for bronzer especially, but if you want to do a light application of blush, like in a big area of your cheek, this is perfect for it. If you want to do face powder, I use this a lot for like bringing my bronzer down my neck. It is awesome and insanely soft. I love this one. And then for size comparison, this is the Real Techniques powder brush. So you can see the powder brush is freaking-normous. Like, it is massive, and I love this brush for all over powder or like buffing in a bronzer down my neck and on my chest. I use this so much. It is insanely soft, like all the Real Techniques brushes are. And if you want a huge powder brush, I would really recommend this Real Techniques one because a lot of big powder brushes can be very expensive, such as my Makeup Forever, what is this called? Number 130 Wavy. I don't even know what this is called. It's just the powder brush. This is much denser, super amazing quality on these new Makeup Forever brushes. They are super expensive but super nice, way nicer than my Chanel brush that was very comparable in like terms of price. Here's the comparison of the Real Techniques versus the Makeup Forever. As you can see, the Makeup Forever is more dense. It doesn't have as many like sparse areas to it, and I don't know, it's just a nicer quality brush. Obviously, for the price difference, it better be. This I haven't used a ton since I bought it. I also got this to use with my meteorites. It works okay with my meteorites, but still not perfect. One of you guys suggested the e.l.f. powder brush, which is like in their studio line with the all black bristles. So I think I'm going to try that one out next. But this I think will be amazing for when I choose to wear powder foundation because it's so dense and it can buff on that that powder super, super nicely all over the face. I can't wait to use it for that purpose. So, I love it. It was very, very expensive, but I do want to try more Makeup Forever brushes from their new professional line because I think that they're some of the best quality brushes I've ever encountered. Okay, only a few more brushes. This is my favorite blush brush ever. It's the e.l.f. blush brush. It's nice and tapered. It's small. If you're like me and you like to specifically place your blush on a certain part of your cheek, like throughout the years of doing my makeup, I have figured out where I prefer my blush the best. And if you have figured that out, and if it's in like a smaller area, you would love this e.l.f. blush brush. It's $3. It's so awesome. It never sheds. It just does the perfect job, and I love it so much. I can't like say anything else about it. I have the e.l.f. Flawless Concealer Brush. I really don't use this a lot. I keep it around just in case I need like to buff out a small area on my face, but I really haven't found a purpose for this that I love it for. I've used it for under my eyes, but it just is too dense for me. It like, I don't know, I just don't like how it blends out my concealer under my eyes. It's better to me on like the face for face concealer, but I don't use face concealer a lot. So I haven't figured out exactly how I love this, but I keep it because I'm sure I will one day. My last face brush is the e.l.f. Mineral Powder Brush, and this is just a really like small, kind of like dense buffing brush. If you don't want to, but oh, that's the freaking powder brush. No wonder it looks so huge. If you don't want to buy one of the buffing brushes like from a more expensive company and you don't want to get the Real Techniques, the e.l.f. Mineral Powder Brush is a good place to start. It's definitely not as dense or as nice or as great to buff on your foundation, but it does kind of the same job. But I really have been liking this brush for applying my RMS Living Luminizer on my cheeks. I like basically any of these e.l.f. like all synthetic brushes for applying cream products because it just really sets them on the face nicely, and since they're synthetic hairs, it doesn't like eat up the product like natural hair might. So I really like all these. That is all of the face brushes that I own. Now they're all piled up here, and clearly I have some brush laundry to do, but I wanted to show you guys like for real how my brushes look, and it kind of gives you a sense of which ones I use a lot and what ones I don't really reach for a lot as well. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this and maybe got something out of it. Maybe you want to try a new brush, or you thought you wanted one of these brushes, but from my description, you don't want it anymore. I don't know, let me know. But I really have gotten into brushes over the past year. I wasn't always that big into brushes, but in 2014, I really got obsessed. And I'm excited to share these with you guys. So next will be my eye brushes, so I can't wait to see you then.